I think we can all agree that the Arizona Cardinals offense is systematically broken, and Drew Petzing is a lot to blame here. And yes, I have backtracked on my thing. I don't necessarily think he is the complete problem. I love the way he's utilizing James Conner, Trey McBride. I'll talk about that later on in the video. Like, there's some things that he's doing that are just chef's kiss. But there are also things that do need to be corrected going forward if we want to be a legit football team, or if Drew Petzing wants to keep his job, because the offense is not performing right now. And one of the major issues that I see with this offense is somebody like Marvin Harrison Jr., who you took number 4, gets 12 targets last game, 5 receptions, even has a touchdown. Puts up solid numbers, 60 yards, but you get 12 targets, only catching 5 of them is a problem, especially when this is a consistent thing. And it's even worse too when Drew Petzing even goes on the air and says that Kyler Murray and Marvin Harrison Jr. connected on this pass right here for a touchdown. It was off script. Go figure. Here's him saying that. Listen to this.
And then after that, really becomes improv on the backside.
I'll show you a great look at it from the end zone. But as Kyler gets out of the pocket, he directs Marvin to the back of the end zone, floats the ball back there, and just an unbelievable throw and catch there to get 2 feet down.
An edge there to escape the pocket, create the off-schedule play. Really impressive throw and catch for the 6 points.
When his one touchdown and about 20 of those yards come on a broken play and Kyler Murray directing traffic, that is a huge problem, and the Cardinals need to fix this going forward, because this should not be an issue, especially in week 13. It's frustrating because the pass game in this offense is so broken, man. Like, it is just insanely broken. This goes on 2 people's shoulders. It's Kyler Murray and Drew Petzing. They got to figure this thing out. It should not be week 13, and we should not be struggling this hard. Cardinals offense gets shut down against good teams. The Commanders, they held us to 14. The Cardinals, when we played the Lions, got held to 13, and it was a lot of BS throws that I'll dissect later, or I won't be dissecting that game, but I'll show you the kinds of throws we were making in that one, because we made some against the Vikings. We played Seattle, got shut out to 6 points, and then last game we were just held to field goals continuously. It's just ridiculous at this point. And some of the things I'm saying, like Marvin Harrison, he's getting some targets, but they're not high quality reps. They're not the good kind. Like this back shoulder throw right here, I love it. But Kyler and Marv need to be on the same page. There's no way this should be a disconnect going forward. As you guys know, I was a big advocate for this back shoulder throw. This is something they should have down to a T. And yes, I do know Marvin Harrison Jr. is a rookie, so I will cut him some slack, but him and Kyler need to have timing down. This should be a routine play. This is something that they should continuously get, and I don't know why it's still an issue. That's not a play you should be missing. I don't understand why that's still a problem. They need to lab up. They need to get that right. That's not a Drew Petzing thing. That is a Kyler Murray, Marvin Harrison Jr. issue. But like I said, this off-script play right here where Kyler Murray directed traffic and told Marvin Harrison to cut back to the end zone and cut right, it's crazy, because this isn't even a play that was designed for him. This was supposed to be a screen pass to James Conner. Kyler Murray escaped. Drew Petzing even knows that this was nothing to do with him. This is just a great play by your quarterback, even better play by your receiver, but we need to get him more targets within this offense, because if you can get some plays like this, where Kyler Murray was on time, played within structure, and hit Marvin Harrison Jr. on the comeback, like perfect timing, perfect everything, perfect ball placement, and Marvin Harrison Jr. comes down with it, we're in a really good spot. But Marvin does not get a lot of targets like this within the game, and that is a huge problem. And going back to the targets that I'm telling you he gets consistently, if you watch the Lions game, it was a lot of this. One-on-one, like legit Madden throws, like Marvin Harrison Jr. getting asked to bail out and pick up a chunk of yards. Like, this is not the kind of targets he needs. He needs better ones than this. I think he should be utilized in the short game a lot more. Kyler Murray needs to be on time with the football. That was a problem in the game, last game against Minnesota. But plays like this are just horrendous. This is not what we want. I think there are things that could be cleaned up, but a lot of this falls on Kyler and Drew Petzing. Like, you have to be better. Drew Petzing has to play more aggressive. You can't play conservative. It's just bad football, and I feel like Kyler Murray's getting frustrated with that. You don't want him to play hero ball every single time, but your quarterback has a skill set that nobody in the NFL has right now. He can bomb the ball, and he's a threat with his legs. But for some reason, Drew Petzing does not utilize him to his strengths. And yes, I do love the fact that we run the football, and that is our dynamic. Like, I love it. Trey McBride and James Conner should be the focal point. But we need to throw the ball deep, because we are so predictable at times, and especially when we get to the red zone, we don't know what we're doing, and we just look kind of lost. This hasn't always been a problem either, because in the beginning of the season, we were unstoppable in the red zone. We got inside the 20, we were scoring a touchdown. Like, we went on a massive streak, but the past like 3 games, we're getting held to field goals, and that's not acceptable. Trey McBride needs to be utilized way more inside the red zone. Marvin Harrison Jr. too. I think we can all agree that these two have been the best offensive players on the team, and this is who it runs through. James Conner, 183 carries, 773 yards, 5 touchdowns. James Conner ranks 13th in carries, 15th in yards. He's averaging 4.2 a pop. That's pretty good. Trey McBride, 73 receptions, 781 yards, and 0 touchdowns. That's a problem. He has a rushing touchdown, and he picked one up off a fumble, but Trey McBride not being utilized in the red zone is beyond me. It's little things that could be fixed, and we are getting the ball down the middle of the field, but we need to work the outside, we need to work deep, and we need to be better. Marvin Harrison Jr. needs better targets. That needs to be utilized. And honestly, I'm not mad with how Michael Wilson has been utilized either. I think he is being utilized just fine. He has 37 receptions, 416 yards, and 3 touchdowns. The eye test backs that up. Greg Dortch, I think this is also a huge problem to the offense of why it's not being unlocked to its full potential, is our slot receiver has done nothing. It's a lot of backwards plays. He's trying to make a lot of people miss, and I think we need to utilize him way better. Like the screen game, I completely understand that, but getting him on crossing routes and mismatches needs to happen. 25 receptions, 193 and a touchdown is unacceptable. He's your slot receiver. He's very shifty, can make people miss. Why is he averaging 7.7 yards a carry? That is just a misutilization on Drew Petzing's part, and he needs to get him more involved. And Marvin Harrison Jr. having a great season. Despite what everybody's saying, averaging 14.8, 7 touchdowns, 606 yards, and 41 receptions. Has a couple drops here and there, and he is not getting utilized to the best of his ability. It's a lot of one-on-one garbage jump balls, but it's fixable. This is something that the Cardinals can easily fix. We need to utilize Kyler's arm way more. He's dangerous with the football. The run game, completely get it. Go ahead and let James Conner do most of the damage, but Kyler can do so much more than what he's doing right now. And I think the things he needs to fix is his timing. I think he needs to get the ball on time more, like that comeback route that I showed you guys earlier. He needs to do a lot more of that. He played within structure for the most part for the beginning of the season, but that has to continue. If we want to make a deep playoff push, Kyler has to keep playing at an elite level, and he's turning the ball over right now. He has like 3 interceptions in his last 3 games, and 2 of those came against Minnesota. Necessarily didn't impact the game, but regardless, they're turnovers. One of them even sealed the game. Kyler's not necessarily the problem. There's just little things that need to be cleaned up, and this offense will click. But there are issues that need to be resolved, or we're going to struggle for the rest of the year. Like this game against Seattle is so huge. But Kyler Murray has the best QBR in the league over Josh Allen, Joe Burrow, who's balling, Lamar, who's balling, like all these great quarterbacks. Kyler Murray's at the top, so he is playing good football. He just needs to clean up a couple things, and he's going to take his game to a whole nother level because his stats on the year are fantastic. 68.7 completion percent, 2,600 yards, 13 touchdowns, 6 interceptions. Drew Petzing needs to trust this man. And on the ground, he has 428 yards and 4 touchdowns this year. Like, Kyler's doing his thing. Putting up numbers, the eye test is backing that, but he has to clean up these little things or we're not going to be a serious threat. And it's a lot of what you guys have been saying in the comments too. He's playing good football, he's played great football at times, but consistency for this offense is non-existent. When the defense is balling like that, you have to be able to win these kinds of games because it's unacceptable at this point. We're getting held to field goals with this high-powered offense. I told you guys I believed we could be a top 12 defense. This is something that you guys kind of clowned on me for, but everybody dropped like flies. We had to figure it out. And now we're here. The offense not performing, though, is not what I expected, especially when the things that we're messing up on are so correctable. You even have your offensive line playing at a ridiculous rate. As you guys see, in the run game, rushing yards before contact per rushing attempt, the Cardinals are a top 8 unit with 2.7 tied with the Bengals and the Lions, who both are doing pretty dang well this year. And you guys go to pressure percent, the second stat that I have listed right here. The Cardinals are 4th best in the league at 16.5%. And Kyler Murray has done a great job at not taking sacks. So that goes into the next stat, which is QB hits. Cardinals have only allowed 16, but this is also a big testament to the line as well. Although Kyler's fantastic at evading sacks, the line is doing great, and they are right behind Tampa with 14 who have kept Baker upright for the most part. Then you go to the last stat where we go to pocket time. The Arizona Cardinals are technically 4th ranked in the league with 2.5. Just ridiculous. And they only allow 40 hurries, which is also great. 89 pressures. Like, the Cardinals are just doing so great in spurts. There have also been times where our interior line has collapsed entirely and has forced Kyler Murray to miss some reads because there have been plays wide open that Kyler could have had if he had time. But for the most part, The line is playing consistent, and that is crazy because Will Hernandez dropped, and so did Jonah Williams early on. So shout out to them. It's just consistency that's killing us, and we need to be able to utilize Trey McBride in the red zone more. I think that needs to be a focal point going forward, and we need to attack deep. I understand that the run game is the focal point, but we have to be able to pass the ball downfield, or we're going to struggle, and Marvin Harrison Jr. needs better targets. Stop giving him one-on-one jump balls like this is Madden, expecting him to aggressive catch and come down with it every single time. Like, you got to utilize him better, and I think these are very fixable problems, but until you realize there's issues and you understand that things need to be corrected, nothing's going to change, and we're still going to be running the same broken record over and over and over again. Things need to change. Drew Petzing and Kyler need to look themselves in the mirror, and they need to get this corrected, or we're going to fall short out of the playoffs, and things are going to hurt very bad, because we could lose this game against Seattle, and if the offense is the problem, our season might be over. So the Cardinals, you guys need to fix this. Kyler, Drew Petzing, look yourself in the mirror. Let me know how you guys are feeling about this down in the comment section below. What do you think the key problems are? Because I think our line playing fantastic. One of the best units in the league. Kyler playing pretty well. Needs to be better with timing in my opinion, but he's playing pretty dang good football. And then Marvin Harrison Jr., you need to get him better targets, and yes, he needs to stay engaged for the full game. But when you have someone like Trey McBride going off too, like, you got to utilize this man in the red zone too. Like, there's things that need to be better, and maybe Greg Dortch needs to be utilized more. Make him a focal point, open things up. It can't just be the Trey McBride in the middle of the field and then chuck the ball to Marvin Harrison Jr., run the ball, get to the red zone, and then kick field goals. That's unacceptable. And also, if you guys did enjoy today's video though, consider hitting that subscribe button. I post Arizona Cardinals and NFL related content, so if you're a fan of either of those, this is the perfect channel for you. But like I said, man, that is all I got for today's video. Hopefully you guys did enjoy. It's been your boy Mythic. Peace out.